We certainly do. We have Chef Nick from Pensacola Cooks and Kate with Everman Natural Foods. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
And tell the folks what we're going to make today, guys.
What we have is a roasted sweet potato salad with cranberry. And then on top of that, we're doing a chicken pesto with it's a walnut pesto.
Sounds so good. Now let's set the scene first before we get started. Nick, first of all, what is Pensacola Cooks?
Pensacola Cooks is a culinary education company. We do cooking classes around Pensacola. We're mobile, so we do it at multiple locations, including Everman's. We also do classes at Bodacious Olive and other establishments in the area. And then we also do at-home events.
All right, so we heard how you work together. Tell us about Everman Natural Foods.
Sure. So Everman Natural Foods has been serving Pensacola and the Gulf Coast for 40 years now. And we recently partnered with Pensacola Cooks because they have awesome cooking classes to offer. We've got great food. It's a perfect partnership.
It's a perfect partnership. And speaking of awesome cooking classes, you're teaching us how to make this dish this morning. What are you doing right now?
We're going to make the pesto. So pesto is essentially a green herb of some sort. We're using parsley and sage today, and then a nut. Traditionally it's pinola nuts or pine nuts, but we're going to use walnuts since it's in season.
Okay.
And then a garlic and an oil. So I have the parsley in here. I'm going to add the walnuts, and it's also cheese. So I have some sliced Parmesan Reggiano cheese.
Awesome. That's I've said it before on the show. That's my favorite kind
of cheese. A little garlic,
Delicious.
Always. And we're going to use a Bodacious Olive product, which is another place we do classes at. We're going to use a wild mushroom and sage infused olive oil to actually create the pesto. So you put your ingredients in first and then drizzle the olive oil in as you mix. I'm also going to need to get some cranberries started.
Okay.
We're going to, basically the holidays coming, we'll try to use as many holiday items as possible. We have sweet potatoes, cranberries, and of course we try to use as much local product and organic product as possible.
Yeah, it's kind of like a early Thanksgiving feast right here.
It is.
What you're putting together. All right, I like it.
So we're going to put cranberries in here, and this is something you can do just on its own as making a cranberry relish for your turkey or whatever during the holidays. And for this one, to keep it still healthy, instead of using sugar, which a lot of cranberry relishes have, we're going to use a balsamic vinegar. It's a Serrano honey flavored vinegar, and we're going to put that in.
Ooh.
And basically, that's going to cook together. Your cranberries, when you use them fresh, are going to split, and that's going to allow the flavors of the vinegars and the other flavors that we'll add into the cranberry.
Fantastic. Well, I tell you what, during the commercial break, we can fire that up over there to blend our pesto together, and we'll also come back and tell you more about how you can get in contact with Everman Natural Foods and Pensacola Cooks and take some of those great cooking classes. Guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, Cherish.
This morning we are sharing a very healthy recipe with you here on Fox 10 and also on fox10tv.com. We have Nick from Pensacola Cooks and Kate from Everman, and you guys have some chicken going and you have some pesto that you just made, some potatoes. So tell us how we put it all together.
Well, the pesto just came out of the food processor, so what we're going to do is smear that on top of the chicken.
That looks really good.
And it'll end up going into the oven. At the same time, I have these sweet potatoes that we cut up. And if you notice the color of the sweet potato, which is right here, it's not that as orange as you normally see, but a lot of natural foods, organic foods, are not always the colors that we think they are because they haven't been messed with genetically.
Interesting.
In fact, a lot of food, when it was vegetables, were purple. And we've since made them green, but they started purple. So.
That's a scary thought when you think about that, because what's being used to, I mean, some kind of dye, chemicals to make the vegetables a different color, so in turn, what are we putting in our bodies?
Exactly.
Scary, scary. Now, Everman is the only grocer in downtown Pensacola, and you guys have everything, conventional food items, also some natural items, gluten-free.
Definitely.
A lot of different stuff.
Exactly. And what we're really trying to do at Everman is empower people to make the best food choices for themselves. So we cater to the vegan folks out there, the vegetarian folks. We bring in really clean, grass-fed beef from happy pasture-raised animals and that sort of thing. So it's just really about sustainable food as a total system and empowering folks.
It's very interesting. And you guys are at 315 West Garden Street in Pensacola. You're open Monday through Sunday. And I know, Nick, you teach some cooking classes. When do you do that?
We teach at Everman's a couple Fridays of the month. We're looking to add more classes the first of the year and maybe in December. We also do cooking classes at the Bodacious Olive on Mondays and Wednesdays and other locations.
Great, and we're so glad to have you here teaching us how to cook something yummy this morning. So you've put the pesto on the chicken, you have the potatoes, and you just coated them with a light oil?
That is with a cilantro onion oil and salt and pepper, and then we're going to roast the chicken and the potatoes together in the oven. I also have the cranberries here that were the fresh cranberries. To that we added the Serrano honey vinegar, and I'm adding some ancho chilies.
Oh, that's going to give
So
it
it's going to get a little bit
spicy.
sweet spicy is the idea.
Oh,
Exactly.
very nice. So once the chicken goes in the oven, what temperature does our oven need to be on, and how long do we need to cook it?
We cook about 400 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay, that sounds good. Oh, it
Of course,
smells
that depends
good,
on the
too.
size of the chicken breast. And whenever you ask a chef how long to cook something, we always say until it's done.
Yeah, that is true. So if you have a thermometer, that's good. Or if you don't have the thermometer, if you don't cook a lot, you just want to cut into it a little bit,
Yeah.
that's okay too. I've done that plenty of times.
I have to.
Okay, see, so and the professional chef is doing it, so it's totally okay. So we'll get this in the oven, and we'll see how everything turns out. I know it's going to be good when we come back. And make sure you get this recipe so you can cook this for your family. It's on fox10tv.com on the Studio 10 page.
We are back with Chef Nick from Pensacola Cooks and Kate from Everman Natural Foods, finishing up our fantastic wild mushroom and sage chicken dish we've been working on today. What are you doing there, Chef Nick?
I'm just cutting a little garnish, green onions and parsley, and I'm ready to take this chicken out of the oven.
All right, let's take a look here. And about how did you know it was time to take it out? What's your rule of thumb with chicken there?
Well, if you touch it with your finger and it's firm to the touch and doesn't go in but pops out and it's firm, that's when your proteins are done.
Oh, okay. All right, sounds good. And that looks
And
fantastic
also you can stick a
as well.
thermometer in it if you feel more comfortable doing that.
What temperature are we looking for if we do that?
About 160 degrees.
Okay.
These are the sweet potatoes. I mix a cranberry and the sweet potatoes together. These are pumpkin seeds called pepitas. So we're going to add that.
Like you said,
Give it a
as I said
stir.
earlier, keeping it seasonal, we're even adding pumpkin seeds to this thing.
Yeah, I think
Exactly.
this is a very seasonal dish. And like I said, the pesto has the walnut in it and the sage. So
And that smells delicious in here. So while you're plating that up for us, tell us a little bit more about Everman Foods and give the folks some information about how they can contact y'all.
Sure. So I guess a little bit more about us. We're currently expanding our location in downtown Pensacola. So we're adding about 3,000 feet of retail space. So we're going to have all of the products that people have been begging for years. We'll finally be able to put them on the shelf. So we're excited about that. And if folks want to come by and check us out, we're at 315 West Garden Street, or they can always visit our website at www.everman.org. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're definitely in the social media realm.
That is awesome, and that expansion is going to be fantastic. And speaking of social media, Chef Nick, you said one of the best ways to follow along with Pensacola Cooks and the cooking classes you offer is through your Facebook page.
yeah, and that's at Pensacola Cooks. We'd like you to like us.
We'd like you to like us. And also you have PensacolaCooks.com.
Yeah, that is our website.
All right, so check that out. That's the finished product. It looks so fantastic. Can't wait to try it out. You can see there's still some steam coming off this bad boy right now, but that looks great. Hey, go online, check out those things, and sign up for those cooking classes, and stop by Everman Natural Foods to cook some healthy stuff up. And this recipe is online. Guys, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having us.
All right,
Appreciate it.
great job. Cherish?